What was your, I'm dating a idiot moment? She had received an email from what appeared to be a spam Best Buy account. I told her over the phone to ignore it. Got annoyed and hung up on me. Deal with it yourself, I said. Bad move. Said she was charged $400 for a software she got when she bought her Mac. Ended up calling the number and downloaded a software to give the scammers access to her laptop to delete the software. Somehow they managed to get into her bank account and transferred money from one account to the other. They said while trying to refund her the $400, they accidentally refunded $9,000 instantly. They told her if she didn't want to go to jail, she had to go to Walmart and buy $9,000 worth of gift cards. I arrived home to her hysterically crying while still on the phone with the scammers. I jumped on the phone and knew she got. When I hung up on them, she gasped and thought she was going to jail. Google had an April Fool's joke one year where if you lick your phone screen, you can actually taste the object of what's being displayed on the screen. Needless to say, she did it several times and said it didn't work. An ex dropped me off the first day at a job. He was late picking me up, and when I called 30 minutes after my closing shift to see what was up, he said it was because the car was stolen. I called to find another ride, so a friend came to get me instead. Homeboy drove across the street to get a soda and walked home. He forgot the car. We saw it on the way back to the apartment. I took her out to dinner, gave her two options, an Italian restaurant or just like a regular restaurant where they served all kinds of stuff. She said she really hated Italian food, so we went to the regular restaurant, where she ordered a lasagna. We had a heated debate about whether or not dinosaurs were alive during the American Revolution. Her stance was there's really no way to know. We were watching the movie Seven, where each murder is tied to one of the 7 deadly sins. The first victim was found murdered after being force-fed to death, with the big reveal being when they found the sin written on the wall behind a fridge, or something I think. I will never forget the sound of this man's voice as they moved the fridge aside to reveal his sin, and he slowly started to realize which one it was. Ooh, gluten. Had a boy try to convince me that he didn't need to use a condom because I couldn't get pregnant while he was taking antibiotics. Would have been the first time we got physical. I noped out when he would not tell me why he was taking them. I still think I dodged a bullet. Similar story, with a girl I'd been dating for about 3 months. Her, I think I might be pregnant. Me, how? You're on the pill, right? Her, I had started taking the pill, but missed a day, then missed 2 in a row, so just gave up and stopped taking them. And now my period is late. Me, why didn't you tell me? We could have gone back to using a condom. Her, I didn't think I could get pregnant. Me, why would you think you couldn't get pregnant if we weren't using birth control? Her, because God doesn't give you more than you can handle, and I've already got 1 baby and am living with my mom, and I couldn't handle a second baby. I demanded she get a pregnancy test. It came back negative, and I broke up with her when she told me. Figured I'd gotten lucky in dodging 1 bullet, and didn't see the need to keep trying my luck. She wouldn't have been someone I'd want involved in raising my child anyway, because of shit like the above. My ex would find a recipe online, not follow it, and blame the recipe for being shit. Things like subbing breadcrumbs with flour, adding pepper flakes in dishes that are not spicy. Those were the most disgusting Swedish meatballs I've ever had. In my early 20s, I started living with my boyfriend at the time. I got my period, and he demanded to know what I had done with the egg. Folks, this 21-year-old man, whose mother was a nurse, who had a sister that had just given birth to twins, thought that human women laid an EGG when they had their period. I have an ex-wife who pretends to be allergic to chocolate. Spoiler alert, she isn't. And 1 year for my birthday, we went out to eat with all my friends and family. I offered her some of my coconut shrimp, which she gladly accepted. For seconds later, she made a terrible "rrrug" sound and spat the chewed shrimp onto the table. As loud as she could, she said, "Was that coconut shrimp?" "Yes," I replied. "Coconut? Coconut?" She shouted, and was met with blank stares. "Coconut?" she hollered, trying very hard to embarrass me in front of everyone I know. Once the laughter died down, I asked her if she really thought there was cocoa in coconut. We're divorced now, thankfully. They put shrimp in my food to see if I am really allergic to seafood or just being dramatic. Anaphylaxis occurred, EpiPen deployed, ambulance trip. The hospital suggested I press charges. They never admitted it was the wrong thing to do. They never apologized. Not sure if she's the idiot or her friend. She got a tattoo from her friend with the word Angel on it. Obviously, it was supposed to say angel. When they tried to argue with me about whether babies can breathe underwater or not, per tip, they can't. In college, I dated this guy who was nice but kind of dumb, and he had some bizarre personal habits around the house. The worst of which was the fact that he only owned one towel and he rarely washed it, like once every couple months. It hung in his bathroom as stiff as sheet metal and as rough as a cat's tongue. So, for Christmas, I bought him 2 more bath towels, a hand towel, and several washcloths. When he opened it, he looked quietly at it for a second, like a goat looking at a new fence, and said, "But I already have a towel." He was genuinely puzzled as to why anyone would own more than one towel, since it gets cleaner every time you use it. We had stopped by a gas station as I was taking her home from our first date. As we got done in line, she uses both hands to scoop out all of the change from the give a penny take a penny tray. She then dumped it in her purse and told the cashier, "Thanks for patronizing me." I was honestly struck silent with surprise until asking her outside why she'd done that. She then explained to me that she saw someone do it one time and thought, "Wow, that's what that's for?" Apparently the cashier had said to her, "Thanks for patronizing me," after the guy nabbing the tray had left, and now she thought it was some kind of hack to get that change. She was very earnest. She really believed this. Then on our second date, she said some terrible things to our waitress, and that was when I learned that you can still learn lessons from people who have life figured out even less than you do. Met a cute girl and asked her for a date. This was pre-cell phone or GPS, so I asked her for directions. She stated, "Go past the train track, take the second left, the third right, the second right, then the second left, and my house is the white one." Started at the train tracks, took her directions, and ended up in the middle of nowhere. Did this 3 times. So, just for shits, I started at the train tracks. Everywhere she said left, I turned right, and where she had said right, I turned left. Found her place on the first try. During the date, she also told me she wanted to be a veteran because she loved working with animals.